June 25th, 1950, at 4:20 a.m. The sounds of marching, gunshots, and tanks piercing through the jet-black darkness. Under the careful support of the Soviet Union and Communist China, the North Korean Communists made a surprise attack on the South, which began the horror that was the Korean War. With the Soviet Union's tanks leading the way, the North Korean army crossed the 38th parallel. Instantly, the Republic of Korea was engulfed in the flames of gunpowder. Seoul was taken in only 3 days, and in less than a month, the North Koreans had reached the defense line of the Nakdong River. Korea's situation was as precarious as a candle flickering in the wind. The Han River bridges were demolished, and the multitudes of refugees had to flee down to the south, with no thoughts other than to escape the onslaught of the North Korean tanks and troops. The procession of people fleeing to survive continued endlessly. The loud wailings of mothers who lost their children. The children calling out to their mothers while holding onto the lifeless bodies of their parents. The starved cries of orphaned children left all alone filled the skies. Right after the Korean War broke out, after inspecting the Han River defense line, General MacArthur reported to U.S. President Truman, the U.S. must send its troops without delay. Upon hearing General MacArthur's report, President Truman immediately made the decision to send the U.S. troops. If this decision to send U.S. soldiers had been delayed even 3 more days, the Republic of Korea, as we know it today, could not exist. Following the U.S. initiative, 15 other UN member nations also sent their troops to Korea to help stave off the North Korean invasion. The USA, the UK, Australia, Canada, the Netherlands, France, New Zealand, the Philippines, the Republic of South Africa, Turkey, Thailand, Greece, Belgium, Luxembourg, Ethiopia, and Colombia. They made the counterattack under the banner of the UN flag for the first time in history. With the participation of the UN troops, the North Korean soldiers' surprise attack was met with a massive resistance that they could never have imagined. Through the bloodshed by the brave soldiers who cried, "We will defend or die," the Nakdong River defense line was defended to the very last. On September 15, 1950, General MacArthur launched the Incheon landing, which was the turning point of the war. Then suddenly, the Red Chinese Army crossed the Yalu River. The Korean War took on a whole new face. More than 190,000 of the UN troops that participated in the Korean War were sacrificed. It was a war that almost marked the end of Korea. For the first time, the independence and the freedom of a nation was defended under the banner of the UN flag. The brave soldiers of the 16 UN member nations came to a foreign land, the name of which they did not know, and shed their blood for its freedom. Our freedom was won through the sacrifice of those war heroes. The 3 years of war took everything we had away from us. We lost our children, our parents, our brothers and sisters, and the basis upon which to continue our lives. More than 3 million people were killed or wounded. It was the most violent war, one which left behind it the greatest number of casualties in the shortest time ever in the history of humankind. At a time when we were living in pain and suffering on the ruins wrought by the war, the world perceived Korea only as a nation of poverty, famine, and orphans.